Hello and welcome to the Miscast table. Today I thought I would make a short video explaining the rules for the new Exiled Dead warband. They're a really fun new addition to the Underworlds, and we had a good game last week where we played them against the new Dark Elves, and I'm really liking them. So I thought I'd help you out by going through how Danse Dynamic and Puppeteer, which are two new actions from Danse and Prentice Markov, are kind of similar but at the same time significantly different from each other. So starting with Danse Dynamic, which reads pick, move or attack. Each friendly conductive fighter can make one action of that kind. And when you are making this kind of additional action, where it is specifically named that you are making a move action or you're making an attack action, you are allowed to make these even as an exception to the rules, even if you would normally not be allowed to make them. Because if we take a look at page 37, we get these following texts. Some Gambit cards allow you to make additional actions with your fighters. These additional actions do not cost you an activation, and a fighter that makes an additional action in this way is not activated. These cards either specify a particular action or actions, or they allow a fighter to make an unspecified action. When a gambit specifies a particular action or actions, a fighter can make those actions even if the rules of the game would normally not allow it. For example, if a gambit says that a fighter can make a move action, they can do so even if they have a move token. And this is why Danse Dynamic has that clause at the start of the rules where you have to pick either move or attack. Because if you didn't have this particular move action, then you would be disallowed to make a further move action due to already having a move token on your fighter. But since you have this exception to rely on, you are perfectly fine moving your zombie horde over the board over and over again as long as you can keep on activating Danse Dynamic. And then before we get into Prentice Markov, I would kind of like to quickly look at each of the rules for the move token and the charge token. The move token clearly states that when you have this, you cannot make a move or charge action. And the charge token, however, on the other hand, indicates that a fighter cannot be activated. Meaning that if you have a charge token at the start of activation phase, you are not allowed to pick that fighter to make an action with. There is, however, a nifty exception here as well. Because when you are making use of Prentice Markov, you are making an additional action with him and with Regulus. Meaning that if we look at the first clause of the rules for additional actions, that fighter that makes an additional action in this way is not activated. Meaning that you kind of sidestep the rules for the charge token, and you are allowed to make use of Regulus as normally, as if you were actually activating him at the start of the activation phase. Meaning that even though if you have Regulus, even if Regulus earlier in your activation has made a charge, you are perfectly fine in making additional use of him. That can be either an attack action from where he is standing or another charge attack if that would be more beneficial to you. The only thing that you need to keep track on is that you do not want to place a move token on either Prentice Markov or Regulus. Because whilst you are allowed to activate Regulus, even if you normally wouldn't be allowed to, you still have to adhere to the rules for the move token if you have one. Which clearly states that you are not allowed to make a further move action or charge action, as the charge action is a super action which does include a move step. And yeah, that's a kind of interesting interaction. We wanted to run it through you, and I hope that this kind of gave you some clarity where there perhaps wasn't earlier. So hope to catch you in a future video, and if you like this kind of rules clarification, we're happy to help out whenever we do get the chance to. Have a good one.